In this video, I'm going to show you how we're going to install this patio door in this basement opening. If you're new to this channel, my name's Josh. This channel is all about DIY to save a ton of money. So be sure to subscribe, ring that bell so you get notification every time I release a new video, and hammer that like button for me. That's all I ask in return for making this video. So we got a lot to do today, so let's get started. This is a Pella 150 series, and if you'd like to check that out, I'll put a link to it in the description below if you'd like to pick it up for yourself. But the dimensions that needs to be the rough opening is 72 by 80. And this is cinder block opening with wood up top and then concrete at the bottom. And if you watch the video on me installing my windows in this basement, you'll know we had to pad out with wood first. So we got to do the same thing here. But the first thing we need to do before we do that is build the base up, because we have this concrete lip here and we want to lift the door up to compensate for that. And we also need to level it up in the meantime, so we're going to address that first. Here at the bottom for this door, we need a 3-inch strip placed here to hold the door and support it, and it also gives us the correct elevation up. We're going to be using PVC board here, and that's simply because this does not rot when there's moisture in contact with it, so it's going to stay there forever. All right, I'm going to begin by placing shims to roughly the height that I need to shim this up to level out this footer. And I'm going to lay my PVC board down here. And we're going to check with a level to see how level that is, because we want to make sure it's nice and level here at the bottom. And that looks good, actually, right where we got it. Now that we have the shims where we need them, we're going to lift this up and place our liquid nails down on the base here. So that way when it sets up, it'll give us a nice support for our PVC board. And we want to place this on really thick. Again, because we're trying to create a base, so it's very important to put this down really heavy. If you have a large void to fill to level up your base, you could use something along the lines of thin set, which is going to give you more volume instead of using liquid nails. Okay, that should do. Now I'm going to place the PVC board back down on top of that area. And double check with our level, make sure it's still good. Yep, that looks good. Now I'm going to use a shim and smooth out this liquid nails and push under this board. Quick break. If you're watching this because you like to do your own projects, or you're taking on paid jobs, or you're thinking about turning this into real work, I have something that you definitely want to know about. A lot of guys hit a wall once quotes, jobs, and follow-ups start piling up, and that's where Jobber comes in. It's built for one-person shops and small crews that want to stay professional, stay organized, and yet get paid without drowning in admin. I got a link below that you can use to check out Jobber for 14 days free, and you can also use that link to get 20% off your first 6 months. No pressure, just check it out and see if it makes sense for you for where you're headed. Now that we got the bottom where we want it, we're going to screw a piece of 5/4 board at the top here to pad this down to the proper height. And this is ripped down to 3 inches, and the sides are also ripped down to 3 inches because the area where the nailing flange goes up to is going to compensate for that 3-inch distance. So we want to make sure we leave enough room for our nailing flange to be able to nail to this board properly. All right, we now are going to place 2x4s and Tapcon them to the sides. Let me show you how. Here's our 2x4 that is ripped down to 3 inches. We're going to place on the side. Now when we set this in here, you'll notice that we can actually use the standard exterior screws to anchor into this sill plate that's on the house to anchor the top. But right here where the mortar joints are, we're going to place 5 Tapcons down each side. So we want to mark the mortar joint onto the board, because we're going to drill this out with a wood bit first before we drill for our masonry screws, which are going to be the Tapcons. So with that said, we're going to mark these in 5 different spots, drill it out, then I'll return here and install the Tapcons. We now have these pre-drilled to be able to place our Tapcons. I switched over to the hammer drill with the masonry bit on it, and this is the bit that's going to be the proper size for these Tapcons. So I'm going to pre-drill each mortar joint where I have it marked, and then we're going to place again the exterior screw in the top here to hold the top into place. Now using my impact driver with a 5/16 end, we're going to place the Tapcons into the mortar joint. Now I'm going to repeat this on the other side. If this was a standard wall that was above grade in a wood frame, we would use standard lumber and standard nails or screws that do not have to be galvanized to pad it out. Before setting the door in the opening, I'm going to cut the shims off now because it'd be very difficult to do that after the door is set. And I'm just going to be using my oscillating tool. We had to lay the door down to remove the nailing flange off the bottom of the door using an oscillating tool because the 3/4 inch material that we placed on the bottom is not wide enough to accommodate for the nailing flange. Now that we got the door unpackaged and setting next to the opening, we're going to dry fit it into the opening first before we place liquid nails on the bottom part where the door is going to set. So that way we know it's going to sit in properly before we get liquid nails all over the place. So we're going to dry fit it into place now. All right, so we know it'll sit in there just fine, so we're going to take it back out. I'm going to use the liquid nails and place it down on top of that bottom, so that way when we set the door into place, it's going to give us a adhesion to the bottom board. We can now set the door in the opening. It always helps to set the bottom in first. As he's holding the door, I'm going to use a 4-foot level and make sure our sides are plumb. We know the bottom's going to be level because we already leveled up the bottom when we put the PVC board down. So we're going to make sure we're sitting nice and plumb, and we want to start here where the fixed panel is. And the reason why that is, this side is flexible yet, so we'll have to adjust this after we get this side and the top secured. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure we're center of the opening and plumb it up. All right, we've got 1.5 inches and 1.5 inches. So we are centered of the opening, and because our bottom, like I said, is already level, this should be plumb, but we're going to make sure. All right, and as you can see, we are setting plumb right here where we are at. So we're going to secure this top corner. The screws I'll be using are rated to be exterior, and these are great because it's hard to nail back into this groove because of the way this block is. Now you can use galvanized roofing nails here, like when I installed the windows in this house. If you haven't seen that video, I recommend checking it out. So we're going to place a screw right up here to hold it into place. Okay, and I'm going to place one down here in the bottom. We can now place screws across this side and the top of the door now, and then we'll address the side where the latch is after that. I now have the top and the side screwed into place. Now something I would like to mention, because this door is setting under cover, we did not put silicone around the nailing flange before setting it into place. That's because we're still going to place trim boards here and seal it with sealant, so that's really what's going to seal the door. Now, if this was going to be installed and it does not have a roof over it, then we would make sure we place silicone before setting the door into place. So here, because we're trimming it out different, it's not that big a deal because it's going to be sealed from the outside. So now we're going to straighten up this side of the door and make sure it's really straight using a 4-foot level and anchor it into place. When I straighten this side out, you'll notice that this reveal is really crooked, so this doesn't matter right now with the door because the door is going to be adjusted to match the reveal because they don't come adjusted perfect. And because of that, we're going to make sure we just have this plumb and straight for this installation. Then we address the door after the fact. All right, so essentially when we press that tight, you see it's straight and flat, and we're setting perfectly plumb. We now just need to place a screw here in the nailing flange to hold it into place. Okay. Now that we have the screw into place, you can see we're setting nice and plumb where it belongs, and you'll notice the reveal's crooked. Again, if you check it with the door, it's because the door is not setting plumb, as you can see there. Again, when we adjust that, we're going to plumb it up, secure it into place. Now that we have the door set and it is secured around the nailing flange using screws, we're going to trim out around the exterior using PVC board. Now we got kind of lucky here because if we measure the distance between the door and the top and over to the block to the door, it's actually just a little bit over 1.5 inches to where we could get pre-cut pieces that are already 1.5 inches wide, and we do not have to rip these down. Now, if you do have an oddball measurement, just get the board that's the next size up. Let's say you got 2 inches to fill here. just get a 1x4, which would be a 3/4 board that's going to be 3.5 inches wide, then rip that down to 2 inches. So that's how you would trim around the exterior. So we're going to cut these to length and then nail them on using our trim nailer. When installing trim around the door, you'll want to start with the top piece first. So I'm going to get the measurement from end to end inside the opening. We got 73 3/8. Now that we are cut the length, we need to decide, do we want the wood grain pointing out or do we want the smooth side facing out? So we're going to go with the wood grain just to get a nice decorative look, because that's how we trimmed out the basement windows in the last video. You can see that fits in there really nice. I have my trim nailer here, and we're going to place a nail about every 16 inches to secure this into place. And I also like to nail the top and the bottom so that way it sits in here evenly. If you nail all in the center, it could pivot and be a little crooked, so I like to keep it even. Okay, now we just measure the sides down to the ground and cut them to length. If this door was going to be installed above grade that is going to have siding, you do not have to trim it out like this. You can install your siding directly up against the door. Now that we have the trim around the door, we need to caulk the crack between the block and the door itself. I'm going to use white initially to caulk right up against the door, and then I'm going to switch to clear to caulk right up against the block. The reason why that is, the clear is going to blend in better with the masonry surface versus the white, because the white, if it smears, you're really going to see it. So I highly recommend using clear where it meets up against the masonry surface. Now I'm going to be using a product called Pro Seal Max. Now I really like this product simply because it has a high quality seal and it can be used when it's really cold out like it is today, and it really does go on smooth as well. So I'm going to use that, go right around the door and the trim. And if you'd like to pick this product up, I'll put a link to the description below. When caulking up against the door, you do want to put a nice thick bead here because you do need it to seal very well. And also when it comes to doing the sides where it's up against the masonry surface, you want to do the same thing, but again, we're going to switch to the clear to do that. And when we run it, you want to fill in any voids because it's irregular, so you want to get in there nice and thick so that way, again, it seals really well. Here's what it looks like after the trim is installed and caulked. And another great thing about this particular sealant is that it can be painted over. It is paintable, which is a very nice feature to this pro quality sealant. And something else I'd like to mention, we did not flash above this door because again, it is undercover to where you will not get weather above it. We're now on the inside of the door and the sun is shining directly at the camera, so I know it looks like a bad image quality here, but all you need to see is that the reveal needs adjusted. So when you shut the door, you can see it isn't perfect. So in order to fix that, we got to adjust the bottom at each end of the panel, and I'll show you how to do that. At the inside bottom corners of the inside panel that slides, you'll notice there's a screw here at the very bottom. If you tighten the screw, it lifts up this side of the panel, and if you loosen it, it will drop it. So we need to drive this screw in to lift the panel up a little higher in general, and then we need to adjust the reveal. And this is just a standard Phillips bit to do this. All right, we lifted that up. Now we need to adjust the other side. I'm now going to tighten this side and then we'll check the reveal. And you'll notice it'll slide way easier after you tighten these up. I'm now going to slide the door and check the reveal to this side of the jamb. And you can see that we are tight up here, and then down here we have a gap. So we have two options here. We can either drop this side, which is going to pull this gap a little bit bigger, or we can tighten this side, which will lift up this side and draw this gap a little bit wider as well. You will notice that minor adjustments go a long way when you're trying to match the reveal while setting this panel. You can see our reveal is nice and even. That is exactly what we're looking for. And now that that's even, we can install the latch so that we can lock this door. This piece is called the keeper, and this is where the latch is going to actually hook onto, and it's going to be installed right here into the jamb of this sliding door. We need to open up the locking mechanism so that it's sticking out, and we need to mark this flat part of this mechanism so that it latches onto this keeper like so. And then we can adjust how tight it is after the fact. But right now we just need to know the height in which this flat area is on this part of the latch. So we're going to mark it right here on the frame. All right, here's the mark that we just made. Now when we install this, we need to have that mark in which it's lined up with this part of the keeper. And with that said, we want to place our screws in where the longer slots are, so if we got to adjust it up and down, we can. And we also need to place a shim in behind here so that it's snug. So whenever we screw this down, it doesn't draw this in real tight. We want to keep it where it's at. So we're going to place a shim back in here now. I'm going to line this up where I need it now that the shim's in place and mark where to place the screws here. Using the screws that came with the kit, I'm going to drive them into those marks first so that they're already ready to go. So this acts is almost like pre-drilling. Now we're going to place the keeper where we had originally, then place the screws into those holes. Before snugging it up all the way, make sure we're in line with that mark. And now we're going to test the latch out onto the keeper to make sure that it latches properly. All right, it latches really well. It's actually tight right where we got it, so we really don't have to adjust the inside of this door here. If we do have to adjust it, we would tighten or loosen this in order to drive this part of the door latch in or out to make it tighter or looser. So to do that, again, just take a flat screwdriver, tighten or loosen that area, and it drives this in or out. To insulate around the door, you'll want to make sure that you fill in any cracks or voids with foam insulation. And also, I do offer a channel membership where I show you the videos from my course to where I started this house. So if you'd like to check that out, scan the QR code on screen or check the link in the description below. If you would like to see how I installed this basement window, check out this video. It'll help you out.